Good morning. My name is Ollie. I live in Lahore, Pakistan. Today I will tell you about my day in English. Listen carefully and repeat after me. Let's begin our story, slowly and clearly. The clock shows 7 o'clock. The room is quiet. The first light of morning touches the curtains. Ollie opens his eyes and smiles. He feels fresh and thankful. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I wake up at 7 o'clock. He sits on the bed and stretches his arms. He yawns and says softly, backhand index pointing right repeat. Good morning, new day. Ollie gets out of bed slowly. The floor feels cool. He walks to the bathroom. He brushes his teeth with mint toothpaste. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I brush my teeth. He washes his face with cool water. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I wash my face. The water wakes him up completely. Ollie looks in the mirror and smiles. He says to himself, backhand index pointing right repeat. I can do my best today. Then he takes a warm shower. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I take a shower. He enjoys the water. He feels clean, fresh, and ready to start the day. After the shower, he puts on clean clothes. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I get dressed for work. He opens the window. Fresh air enters the room. He can hear birds singing outside. He looks at the blue sky and feels happy. Now it's breakfast time. Ollie goes to the kitchen. The smell of parathas and eggs fills the air. His mother is cooking with love. Ollie greets her and says, Good morning, Ammi. She smiles and says, Good morning, Beta. Ollie sits with his family. They talk and laugh. He eats his breakfast slowly and enjoys the moment. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I have breakfast with my family. He drinks a cup of tea. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I drink a cup of tea. He checks his watch. It's almost 8 o'clock. He stands up, picks up his bag and gets ready to go. He says goodbye to everyone and walks toward the door. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I leave home at 8 o'clock. He feels positive and ready to begin his day. The sunlight is bright and the city is waking up. This is how Ollie's morning begins, full of peace and energy. Ollie closes the door behind him and steps outside. The morning air is cool and fresh. The street is quiet but life is slowly beginning. Backhand index pointing right repeat. The morning air is cool and fresh. He smiles as he walks down the street. A milkman rides his bicycle. Children walk to school with their bags. The sound of birds mixes with the city's gentle noise. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I walk to work in the morning. Ollie takes a deep breath and says to himself, backhand index pointing right repeat. It's a beautiful day. He sees a fruit seller arranging apples and bananas. Ollie waves and says, Good morning. The fruit seller smiles and replies, Good morning, sir. Ollie feels happy to greet people. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I say good morning to people. At the corner he finds a rickshaw. He greets the driver and sits inside. The rickshaw starts with a soft buzzing sound. The city moves fast around him. Buses, cars, people. Ollie looks outside and observes everything quietly. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I take a rickshaw to work. The sun is shining now. Shops are opening. People are buying breakfast from tea stalls. Ollie smells chai and fresh bread in the air. It makes him smile. He thinks about his workday ahead. He remembers the meeting he has at 9 o'clock. He feels a little nervous but also excited. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I feel ready for my work. He takes out his phone and listens to soft English podcast. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I listen to English podcasts in the morning. He repeats a few words quietly. This is how he practices English every day, on the way to work. The rickshaw stops at a traffic signal. Ollie looks around. He sees students crossing the road, shopkeepers cleaning the front of their stores, and office workers like him holding coffee cups. He feels part of this busy world. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I see many people going to work. The signal turns green and the rickshaw moves again. Ollie thinks. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I will do my best today. Soon the rickshaw stops near his office building. Ollie pays the driver and says, "Thank you, bye." The driver smiles and replies, "Have a nice day." Ollie smiles back and walks toward the entrance. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I say thank you. He looks up at the big glass building. The sun reflects off the windows. Ollie feels a small spark of pride. He has come a long way, from being a shy learner to someone confident and growing. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I am confident and growing. As he enters the office gate, he takes a deep breath and whispers. Backhand index pointing right repeat. Let's start the day with a smile. He walks inside, ready to face the challenges and joys of his workday. The morning journey is not just travel. It's a moment of learning, reflection, and hope. Would you like me to continue with Act 3? At the office. Ollie's work life, co-workers, simple dialogues, and shadowing practice. Ollie walks into his office building. The security guard smiles and says, "Good morning, sir." Ollie smiles back and replies. Backhand index pointing right repeat. Good morning. He walks through the lobby. The floor is shiny. People are talking softly and typing on their computers. Ollie takes the elevator to the 4th floor. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I take the elevator to the office. When the door opens, Ollie steps out and greets his co-workers. Good morning, everyone, he says. They reply with warm smiles. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I greet my coworkers in the morning. Ollie goes to his desk. He puts down his bag and turns on his computer. He looks at the screen and checks his emails. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I check my emails in the morning. There are many messages. Some are from his manager. Some are from clients. Ollie reads carefully and starts to reply. He types slowly but clearly. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I write emails in English. After finishing, Ollie looks at his to-do list. He has 3 main tasks for the day. Finish the report. Join the team meeting. Call a client from Karachi. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I make a to-do list for my day. He takes a sip of water and starts working on the report. He checks numbers, writes notes, and focuses quietly. The sound of keyboards fills the office. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I work on my report. After 1 hour, his colleague Sarah comes by. She smiles and says, Ollie, the meeting is starting. Ollie nods and follows her to the meeting room. They sit around a big table with their manager. The manager says, Good morning, team. Let's discuss today's goals. Everyone listens carefully. Ollie takes notes in his notebook. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I listen carefully in the meeting. When it's his turn, he speaks slowly and clearly. He says, Our report will be ready by afternoon. His manager smiles and says, Good job, Ollie. Ollie feels proud. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I speak clearly in meetings. The meeting ends after 30 minutes. Everyone returns to their desks. Ollie feels confident because he used English well. He whispers to himself. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I am improving every day. He continues working until lunchtime. He answers phone calls, helps a coworker, and sends a few more emails. He is focused and calm. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I stay focused at work. At 1 p.m. his stomach starts to rumble. He laughs quietly and says, "Time for lunch." Backhand index pointing right repeat. It's time for lunch. He saves his work, closes his laptop, and stands up. Ollie feels satisfied. The first half of his day was productive and positive. He walks toward the cafeteria with a smile. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I feel good about my work. The morning work is complete. And now it's time for food, friends, and a short rest. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Ollie closes his laptop and stretches his arms. He feels a little tired but also hungry. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I feel hungry at lunchtime. He stands up and walks toward the cafeteria. The smell of food fills the air, rice, curry, and fresh bread. Ollie smiles and says softly, backhand index pointing right repeat. It smells so good. He meets his coworkers Sarah and Bilal near the counter. Sarah waves and says, Hey Ollie, let's sit together today. Ollie nods and replies, Sure, let's go. Backhand index pointing right repeat. Let's sit together. They take their food trays, rice, chicken, salad, and juice. Ollie thanks the chef and finds a table by the window. The sunlight comes through the glass, making the room warm and bright. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I eat lunch with my friends. Ollie takes the first bite and says, This food tastes amazing. Sarah laughs and says, You say that every day. They all laugh together. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I enjoy my lunch. For a few minutes they eat quietly, enjoying their meals. Then Bilal says, So, how's your work going today? Ollie smiles and answers, Good. I finished my report this morning. Sarah adds, That's great. You're getting faster every week. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I talk to my coworkers during lunch. Ollie feels happy when his friends appreciate him. He says, Thank you. I'm trying my best. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I try my best every day. After finishing lunch, they start chatting about small things. Movies, weekend plans, and family stories. Ollie laughs when Bilal tells a funny story about his little brother. Backhand index pointing right repeat. We laugh together at lunchtime. The cafeteria is full of soft voices, clinking plates, and gentle music. Ollie looks around and feels peaceful. He thinks, it's nice to take a break. Backhand index pointing right repeat. It's nice to take a break. He drinks a glass of water slowly and looks outside the window. Cars move on the road. The trees move gently with the wind. He takes a deep breath and feels calm. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I feel calm after lunch. Sarah says, Let's have some tea before going back. Ollie nods. Yes, 1 cup of tea sounds perfect. They walk to the tea corner and enjoy hot cups together. The taste of tea refreshes their minds. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I drink tea after lunch. Ollie looks at his watch. It's 1:50 p.m. He says, All right, time to get back to work. They all stand up and walk back to their desks. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I go back to work after lunch. As he walks, Ollie feels light and happy. He thinks about how good it is to share simple moments with kind people. These little breaks give him new energy for the rest of the day. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I feel happy and refreshed. He smiles as he returns to his desk and whispers. Backhand index pointing right repeat. Let's finish the day with a smile. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Ollie is back at his desk. The office feels quiet. Only the sound of typing and phones ringing softly. The sunlight outside is bright, but inside the air feels sleepy. Backhand index pointing right repeat. The office is quiet in the afternoon. Ollie takes a deep breath and opens his report file again. There are still many pages to check and correct. He feels a little tired. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I feel a little tired. He rubs his eyes and says softly, "Come on, Ollie. You can do it." Backhand index pointing right repeat. I can do it. He drinks a sip of water and focuses again. Numbers, charts, and tables fill the screen. He checks each line carefully. Sometimes he makes a small mistake and fixes it quickly. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I check my work carefully. After 30 minutes his phone rings. It's his manager. Ollie, can you please send the final report before 4 o'clock? Ollie replies politely, Yes sir, I will finish it soon. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I speak politely to my boss. When he ends the call he feels a little pressure. The deadline is close. He looks at the clock. It's already 2:45. Backhand index pointing right repeat. The deadline is close. He takes a deep breath and starts typing faster. His fingers move quickly but carefully. He remembers what his English teacher once said. Backhand index pointing right repeat. Don't rush. Stay calm. Ollie keeps working. Minutes turn into hours. He feels his back ache, but he doesn't stop. He thinks, backhand index pointing right repeat. Hard work makes me strong. At 3:50 he saves the final version of the report. He checks it one last time. No mistakes. He smiles proudly and says, backhand index pointing right repeat. I did it. He attaches the file to an email and clicks send. Then he leans back on his chair and stretches his arms. He feels free, light, and satisfied. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I feel proud of myself. A few minutes later his manager walks by and says, Good job, Ollie. The report looks great. Ollie smiles and says, Thank you, sir. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I say thank you. Sarah, his coworker, also says, Ollie, you look tired. Let's get some water. Ollie laughs softly. Yes, good idea. They walk to the water cooler and chat for a minute. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I take a short break after hard work. As he drinks water, Ollie looks out the window. The sun is slowly going down. The sky is turning orange. He feels a sense of peace and gratitude. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I feel thankful for today. He whispers to himself. Every challenge makes me better. Backhand index pointing right repeat. Every challenge makes me better. Ollie smiles again and walks back to his desk. He knows that hard work, patience, and a positive attitude can change everything. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I stay positive every day. He opens his notebook and writes one line at the bottom. Don't give up. Success is built step by step. Backhand index pointing right repeat. Success is built step by step. It's 6 o'clock in the evening. Ollie shuts down his computer and packs his bag. He feels tired but happy. The day was busy and successful. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I finish my work in the evening. He waves goodbye to his coworkers. See you tomorrow, says Sarah. Ollie smiles and replies, see you. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I say goodbye to my coworkers. He walks out of the office building. The sky is orange and pink. The sun is setting behind the buildings. The cool wind touches his face. Backhand index pointing right repeat. The evening feels calm and beautiful. Ollie finds a rickshaw and starts his journey home. The traffic is slow, but he doesn't mind. He listens to soft music and watches people outside. Some are walking home, some are buying snacks, and some children are playing by the road. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I listen to music on my way home. Ollie thinks about his family. He smiles when he imagines his little sister waiting at the door. He feels warm inside. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I think about my family. After 30 minutes, the rickshaw stops in front of his house. Ollie pays the driver and says politely, thank you. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I thank the driver. He walks toward the door and rings the bell. His sister opens the door and shouts happily, bye. You're home. Ollie laughs and says, yes, I'm home. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I'm happy to be home. He takes off his shoes, washes his hands, and sits in the living room. His mother brings him a cup of tea. The smell of tea fills the room. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I drink tea in the evening. Ollie takes a sip and sighs with relief. He says softly, this is the best moment of the day. His mother smiles and says, you work hard, you deserve some rest. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I take rest after work. After tea, Ollie spends time with his family. They talk about their day, share small stories, and laugh together. His father tells a funny joke and everyone laughs loudly. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I talk with my family in the evening. Later, Ollie helps his little sister with her homework. He explains simple English words to her. She smiles and says, thank you, bye. Ollie pats her head and says, you're welcome. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I help my family members. The smell of dinner comes from the kitchen. Ollie's mother calls everyone to eat. They sit together around the table. Warm food, laughter, and love fill the room. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I eat dinner with my family. After dinner, Ollie helps clear the table. He says thank you to his mother for the meal. He smiles proudly. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I say thank you for the food. Then Ollie steps outside for a short walk. The night air is cool and the stars are shining. He looks up at the sky and feels peaceful. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I feel peaceful at night. He whispers to himself. I worked hard today. I learned something new. I'm proud of myself. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I'm proud of myself. Ollie returns home feeling calm and grateful. The day is ending beautifully, with love, peace, and quiet happiness. Backhand index pointing right repeat. Every day ends with peace. It's 9 o'clock at night. Ollie walks into his room. The lights are soft and warm. He closes the door quietly and takes a deep breath. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I relax at night. He sits on his bed and looks around his room. The day is finally over. He feels calm and thankful. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I feel calm and thankful. Ollie takes out his notebook, his daily reflection book. He opens a new page and writes today's date at the top. Then he writes 3 simple lines. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I write about my day. He writes, Today was a good day. I worked hard. I spoke English with confidence. He smiles as he reads the words. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I feel proud of my progress. Ollie remembers his small victories. Completing the report on time. Talking politely with his boss. And helping his sister with homework. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I remember my small wins. He feels grateful for everything. He whispers softly. Backhand index pointing right repeat. Thank you for this beautiful day. He closes his eyes for a moment and takes a deep breath. He listens. The city is quiet now. Only the sound of a distant fan and soft crickets in the night. Backhand index pointing right repeat. The night is quiet and peaceful. Ollie thinks about the new words he learned today in English. He says them slowly to himself. Confident, patient, grateful. He repeats them again to remember. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I practice new English words at night. Then he takes his phone and plays a short English podcast. A calm voice speaks slowly. Ollie listens carefully and repeats after it. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I listen and repeat to improve my English. He smiles and says, I am learning every day. Step by step my English is getting better. Backhand index pointing right repeat. My English is getting better every day. He looks at his notebook one last time and writes. Be kind. Be patient. Keep learning. Backhand index pointing right repeat. Be kind. Be patient. Keep learning. Ollie puts away his notebook, turns off the light and lies down on his bed. The moonlight softly touches the curtains. He whispers one last line before sleeping. Backhand index pointing right repeat. Tomorrow will be a beautiful day. He closes his eyes with a smile. Feeling peaceful, confident and full of quiet hope. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I sleep with peace in my heart. It's Saturday morning. The sun is shining through the window. Ollie doesn't need to rush today. He smiles and stretches in bed. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I wake up slowly on weekends. He hears the birds outside. He takes a deep breath and feels relaxed. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I feel relaxed on weekends. Ollie gets up, washes his face and makes a cup of tea. He sits near the window and watches the street. Children are playing. A shopkeeper is opening his store. The world feels peaceful and slow. Backhand index pointing right repeat. The world feels peaceful today. Ollie opens his notebook, the same one he writes in every night. He turns to a new page and writes at the top, Weekend Goals. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I make goals for my weekend. He writes simple things. Clean my room. Visit my friend. Learn new English words. Call my grandparents. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I plan simple and happy goals. After writing, he smiles and says to himself, I'm proud of my small steps. Every step makes me stronger. Backhand index pointing right repeat. Every step makes me stronger. Ollie spends some time cleaning his room. He folds his clothes, arranges his desk and plays soft music. The room looks bright and fresh. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I clean my room on weekends. Later he calls his best friend. Hey, want to meet for lunch? Ollie says. His friend replies, of course. Let's go to our favorite place. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I meet my friends on weekends. At the restaurant they talk and laugh. They share memories and dreams. Ollie tells his friend, I'm learning English every day. It's helping me feel confident. His friend smiles. That's great, Ollie. You're doing really well. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I feel confident when I learn English. After lunch, Ollie walks to a nearby park. He sits under a tree and watches children play. He listens to an English podcast with his headphones. The sun feels warm on his face. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I listen to English podcasts in the park. Ollie hears the speaker say, "Success is not about speed. It's about consistency." He smiles and whispers, "Backhand index pointing right repeat. I will keep going step by step." He feels proud of how far he's come. He remembers his first day of practice. How shy and nervous he was. Now he speaks with more confidence and joy. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I speak English with joy. As the sun begins to set, Ollie walks home slowly. The sky turns golden and peaceful. He feels thankful for everything. His family, his friends, his work, and his learning journey. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I feel thankful for my life. At home, his mother asks, "How was your day, Beta?" Ollie smiles and says, "It was wonderful, Ammy. I learned, laughed, and rested." He smiles proudly. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I share my happiness with my family. Before sleeping, Ollie looks out the window one last time. The stars are shining bright. He whispers softly. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I believe in myself. He smiles and says, tomorrow is a new beginning. Every day I will learn something new. Backhand index pointing right repeat. Every day is a new beginning. He turns off the light, closes his eyes and drifts into peaceful sleep. Ready for another week of learning, growing and shining. Backhand index pointing right repeat. I sleep with hope for tomorrow. Glowing star the end. My English day, glowing star. A story for shadowing, confidence and daily practice.